So I wanted to pop on here and share some information. This this is really nothing new. I've shared this before, but I've been having some conversations with um, new clients, prospective clients, and just people in general that are wanting to lose weight, get healthy by some metric of their own, and I felt it important, especially this time of year, because as it gets colder, the days are shorter, we're less active. Seasonal affective disorder, affects our mood at this time of year, so our emotions are kind of up and down. And so I think it's important to know that one, 96% of people that are looking to lose weight will fail within the first year. So 96 out of 100 people that are trying to lose weight, and we'll say trying to lose weight is taking on the dieter's approach, which is they'll drop calories, so they'll eat less, they'll exercise more. Well, again, 4 out of 100 people statistically will actually be successful. Now that's crazy. That's a really wild stat, and it's hard to believe, honestly, for a lot of people. It's not that hard for me to believe as I see how people approach, their fat loss. Um, but one of the biggest reasons is because the very thing that they're doing to try and push their weight loss is actually the thing that's sabotaging a lot of people. Not everybody, but a lot of them. Meaning, when we're cutting calories, and let's say we're eating 1,000 calories a day, just for simplicity of math, but this honestly, I see this a lot. Some people are not even eating 1,000 calories a day. And then we start exercising 3 or 4 days a week on top of that. We're burning, let's say 2,000, we're eating 1,000. This gap here, this gap is very stressful on your body. Initially, you're going to feel real good because one of the most toxic things you can do is just chronically overeat. So as soon as you're in a deficit and you combine that with activity, movement, exercise, you feel good. And you ride that high for a couple weeks. And what happens is after a month or so, that starts to catch up. That 1,000 calorie gap that you're in every day starts to turn into 7,000 in a week, 14,000 in 2 weeks, 30,000 in a month. And then your body's like, whoa, hold on. Like, are you gonna feed us again? And two, you're totally stressing us out with all this exercise. So what happens is any progress you saw in that first month, all of a sudden now your body starts to compensate. And it starts to compensate in the form of an increase in hunger, decrease in energy, increase in food cravings. Your sleep might get interrupted. Now you're moody. And so now you're having to literally rely on willpower to keep you on that diet, to keep you on that caloric intake. And now you're having to utilize willpower and discipline to try and still get to the gym. Except that's impossible to do long term. You can't do it long term. So the key is you have to buffer that. So if you're going to eat less, you can't exercise more. You have to consider if you're eating less food, you have to exercise just enough to keep that calorie deficit in order, in check. And so long term, if you're going to exercise more, you have to eat more. You have to manage. It's all about managing the stressor of the calories. Now, as you can see, people are taking these actions and they're fighting a losing battle because they're doing the wrong thing. The very thing they're doing is actually the thing that's keeping them from progressing. The other part of this equation is the reason and the emotion and the identity in which they're doing these things. So that same person, for example, that's eating 1,000 calories, they're going to the gym every day, they're burning 2,000 calories, they're trying to lose weight. Most of these people are doing this from a place of shame, guilt, apathy. They don't love themselves. They are constantly measuring themselves against the people in their life or people on social media. And so they're just doing this from a very low energy, low kind of emotional state. And that, as long as that's where your identity is, and that's the emotional driver for what you're doing, that again, just like the dieter's approach can be helpful, at least get some momentum, it's not a good motivator long term. Meaning you have to go through this process from at least a place of acceptance, at least a little bit of self-love. Okay? If we can go through this with acceptance and see yourself and literally create the identity in which you're hoping to achieve down the road and embody that today. So if you could see yourself as fit, as healthy, as energetic, as capable, as strong, as hard as that might be, I would go as far as say that's almost a prerequisite for long-term success, is to see yourself how you exactly want to envision yourself later. But don't wait until you accomplish the goal. Literally bring that into your present day. So see yourself as empowered, see yourself as strong, see yourself as healthy, then go about the actions, then go about the behaviors with the thoughts, the emotions, the stories, the beliefs that you are that person. That combined with the actions, that's where you can really find your footing. That's where this transformation that you're looking to make in your health, whether it's, fat loss, getting stronger, performance goals, whatever the case may be, when you can match this with the actions, when you can start to feel the accomplishment ahead of the accomplishment, that's again where you can become literally unstoppable. And that's, a form of manifestation. That's a form of just empowering yourself through the process. That's how you stay motivated through the process. It's not faking it until you make it. It's literally being it until you see it. Be it, embody it, reinforce it through books, through positive propaganda. Definitely not the news, definitely not all that, crap that is literally we're being bombarded with all the time that's supposed to take us from a good feeling, an empowered state, to a state of fear or a state of chaos. We have to be super mindful of what we're consuming, because everything we consume, the people, the books, the podcasts, the videos, the TV, all of that stuff influences us in some way and becomes a part of us. So you have to be super selective on what that is so that you can go about making these changes, taking these actions, building these habits from a place of empowerment and a place of power, and not a place of lack, of fear, of victimhood. You have to literally create this for yourself. You have to literally take responsibility, extreme ownership, extreme accountability in your process going forward, so that this isn't something you're taking one step forward, two steps back for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, a lifetime, even for a lot of people. So I know there's a lot of information. I'm clearly, a little, passionate about this topic, this subject. These are literally the things that, I coach my clients on. Everyone's different how they go about this process. This is, stuff that I've worked on myself over the last several years, especially seeing shifts in my life the last almost 2 years here, where I went from living in Northern Illinois to now I've been traveling the whole country, and my whole coaching's done virtually. It's literally a complete 180 of my whole life in literally less than 2 years, just like that. And a lot of it started with seeing it here, feeling it here, and then taking the actions, knowing that the actions had no choice but to bring me here today, that my actions had no choice but to bring me exactly where I knew they would here and could feel here. So yes, take the actions. Yes, do the thing, but be the person. Be the person here, be the person here, and watch everything come together much quicker, much easier than you ever expected. I promise you, this is how it works. This is what's worked for me. This is what works with the clients I'm working with. And yeah, you can grind through, you can take action alone and eventually, hopefully, get to where you want to be. But it's going to be a much longer, painful, drawn out process as long as you're fighting yourself each step of the way. So let me know if this is useful. Let me know what you think of this. It's a different way, of course. It's not what we're taught. It's not how we're taught to function through our life, through the world. But let me know if there's some sort of value here for you.